inside this book, Gardenary's Raised Beds, I teach you how to make 3 different kinds of raised beds, but one is a steel planter, a rolling steel planter. This was one of the very first kinds of gardens I created for my clients in Houston, and I love this kind of planter. It's so durable, and it's made to be like a feeding trough, so it's food safe, at least for the animals, and more animals. So I just came into Home Depot. We're actually shopping for another kind of raised bed, but I wanted to show you these too. So these are, this one right here says $139. This one, the taller one, I think, I'm not sure. It's kind of unclear how these are priced, but that one says $129. That one is super tall. Like, look how this is be so convenient to garden in. I think it's probably about 2 feet tall. And then these ones are so cute. These were some of the first ones I ever put, and I put them on casters so they roll around. So that's what I teach you how to do inside this little ebook, is how to put it on casters so you can roll it around. And I have to show you, I think I'm gonna get this. Don't tell my husband. Okay, so these are actually, that says on here that they're fire rings. Come here and let me show you. They're actually open on the bottom. So these you're gonna have to drill holes in the bottom, but these are open. They're like literally, they're ready to turn into raised beds, like already. So I don't know why they're tied together. I'm gonna go in and ask and figure out the pricing, but I'm like, these would be, wouldn't they be so cute? Like little herb or salad gardens. And it's just literally ready to go. Like all you have to do is buy it and go put it on the ground, fill it up with dirt and plant it up. So cool. So if you head to a local Home Depot and you see these out, you could think about feeding cattle, or you could think about setting up a raised bed. Now don't forget with these, you can see how much water's in here, or at least in this one, it's kind of like a swimming pool. You're gonna have to, you could either use it as a cold plunge pool, or if that's not your thing, you have to drill holes into it so that the soil drains. Otherwise, your plants are gonna be swimming. Okay, that's the first step, but I just had to show you. I think these things are so awesome, and they're just literally begging to become raised bed gardens, don't you think? Okay, let's go inside now. Hi, I'm in a place I'm not that comfortable, which is the hardware section of Home Depot. I don't know about you, but I start to get like sweaty and nervous when I walk in here. But we can do this. We have a supply list and we just have to follow the directions. So I'm currently looking for hex screws, and I think these are called washers, and then these are called nuts or bolts. I'm not sure which one, but we have it here. So I need to get 1/4 inch hex screws, and I'm looking for them to be 2.5 inches long. So, so here are hex screws. These are 1/4 inch, which is what I need, but I need them to be a lot longer than this. All right, this is what we're looking for. So this is 1/4 inch and 2.5 inches long, which is just what we need to go through the full board. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, I need 24 of these. 24, 16 or 24, you can pick if you want to put them all along the side. So I'm going to get 24 of these, and then I'll find the bolts that go. So make sure they all match. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to make sure they're all the same, because sometimes in here they can get all mixed up. 2 dozen hex screws. Yeah. All right, now we're going to get the washer and the bolt to match. This is kind of what we're looking for, but we need it to be for 1/4. Let's see, 5/16. See, it's too loose. Okay, we're looking here. Maybe we can get the washers next. So this says 1/4 inch washer. So that definitely works, right? Okay, so we need 24 of these. All right, so 25 count, ready to go. This is $3.94, so $4. All right, next we need the washers, but I'm just worried that these are they're called hex nuts. These are the nuts, not the bolts. Oh, these are the bolts. Is that right? All right, so let's just kind of see. Should I just trust? No? Okay, Molly says don't trust. Is this 1/4? You also need it to be able to go through. Okay, that's the right fit right there. That's it. So if this is the exact same as this, then we're right. So I'm going to try to line it up with it and see. I think they're the same. What do you think? Perfect. Okay, we get to leave this section. We're done. Goodbye. Okay, so I'm looking for some framing angles like this. And because I'm building this bed to be 1 foot tall, I want these to be about 8 inches tall. I am able to find these. This is what it's called right here. It's My Tech. And this one is perfect if you're just doing a small bed, like a 6-inch tall. This is 4 inches, but I want to do a taller bed. So this one here is 6 inches tall, which would connect the beds right in the middle. I'll probably get this one, but I was looking for one that's a little bit longer. They don't have it here, but what they do have is this, which kind of does the same thing, but you can see it has a much smaller hole on it. So I would need a different kind of screw to connect this, and I probably want to have a stronger screw. So, but this would be a solution you could use with smaller screws. You can get them, another option would be you could get this and get a 4 and stack it twice, but I think that's going to be a little too complicated. So I'm going to try to get, I'm going to get 4 of these and see what happens. They are $3.78 each, so pretty good deal. Now we are looking for the wood. That's all that's left for supplies for this. We have the framing angles, the nuts and bolts, and washers. So now we need some boards. You can go whatever quality you want to go. I always say buy the best you can afford. I'm looking for untreated cedar. That's my favorite kind to set up in the garden. I'm looking for a 2x6x8. That's the kind of boards we recommend. So all you have to do when you're looking, they're usually going to have the numbers. This is a 4x4x8. I don't want the 4, I want it to be 2x6. If you want a really thick bed, a 4x4 is great. So this one is 2x2 or 2x12. So this is, if you didn't want to, actually this is a great example. I think this is pine though. But if you wanted to not have to stack the boards, this is actually a great option. So I might get this, maybe, because I would literally just have to buy 2 of these boards and I would be set up. That's kind of exciting to me. So we'll see. Okay, we've been searching and we finally found out that they only carry really thin cedar boards. I'll show you those in a second. So these are all untreated, but they're like spruce or fir. So we're gonna have to treat these in a natural way to make sure that they don't decay. So we have 2 options. One, we could buy this board. It's a 2x6x16. So we would need 2 of these boards. One board will make one 4x4x6 inch bed, and 2 boards would make one 4x4x1 foot bed. So if I wanted the bed to be 1 foot tall, this is what I would just need 2 of these. The other option is to buy an untreated pine board that is a 2x8x12 inch. And that's what we're gonna go with because it's just the easiest. We only need 2 boards. They're not treated. So we are going to add a sealant to them to make them last longer. And I think this will be the easiest thing for you guys to make yourselves. You only need 2 boards and they each have to get cut. So let me show you the pricing, it's really good. So this one, 2x12x8, is only $12. So I'm gonna be able to buy 2 boards for like $25, and that'll put together one raised bed for myself. So pretty awesome. So this is what we're gonna go with, but before we get this cut, I'm going to also show you the cedar that they have and why I wouldn't recommend that thickness. So let's go over there. Okay, this is the only place they have cedar. I used to buy cedar from Home Depot, so I'm not sure what happened, but now they only carry 1 inch thickness cedar, which is, I would not recommend that for a raised bed. It's going to bow and give with the weight of the soil. So this is what they have. You can see the pricing difference for a 3/4 by 8 foot cedar board, 3/4 by 8. It's $32. So cedar is a lot pricier, obviously, than the pine and the fir, the other options that they have. But do you see the difference? Let me show you the thickness of these boards is just, or this is a stair, so actually you could probably build a bed with this. This would be kind of cool. But the thickness of this is just not enough for a raised bed. So you see that thickness, it's not even an inch. It's a 3/4 inch. And when the weight of soil gets pushed against this, it'll just start to bow, especially have any length on your bed. So even though these will last a long time, they're not gonna last nearly as long because of the thickness. And then I would just be really worried about the bowing of the boards. So these are beautiful and I love cedar, but not today. Okay, so we did just find these stair treads, which is an interesting option. It's already cut, it's 4 feet long. It's got a nice thickness to it. It's probably, I don't know, almost 2 inches. And it has this nice little curve on the top, which I think would be really cool to have on the top of your raised bed. It's like already sanded and smooth. You'd want to treat it, obviously, to make sure it lasts. But let me see if I can show you what a corner would look like. So you would put the sides up together like a corner. But I think that's kind of cool. It's a little different looking, but I think the curve on the top would be really nice. It's really nice and soft edges. So I don't know, something to think about as an option for a raised bed, especially if you got one of those cool corners to put right here. I think that'd be really pretty. I don't know. Thinking. Okay, we're gonna try to pick the least knotty board. Not naughty, like bad, but knotty, K-N-O-T-T-Y. All right, so now we just have to get them cut, and they will cut it for you, which is amazing. We wanna capture how efficient you are. So can I quote you on the video?
Okay, sure.
Okay, can I give you credit for your name?
Yeah, sure.
Eric. Okay, so Eric here says this is not a good idea, that these are gonna be done in a year. And
yeah, I would use pressure treated.
so he says I should use that stuff, pressure treated wood. And I totally understand. He's so nice though, and he's gonna cut this for me anyway. So I asked him to just do one cut so that all 4 boards are the exact same length. That's the most important part. And he's gonna give it a cut right here. Okay. So he does all the hard work for me, which I'm so thankful for, because I'm terrible at a saw. I would lose a finger. He's talking on the phone. He's done. He said he's gonna cut one more. Okay, so he took a little off, because it doesn't matter really how long it is, it's just that they're exactly the same. Yay!
There you go.
Thank you. You're the best.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much. All right, Eric took care of us, so now we're ready to go. Hopefully, I'm gonna come back in a year, okay? I'll tell you what happened. So, we'll see. He doesn't think it's gonna be good. Okay, so if you're gonna put those steel planters on wheels, all you have to do is head to this section. It says toolbox, I don't know. Wet, dry backs, casters and glides, right there. There, that's what we're looking for, right there. Okay, so these are the casters. The one I like to get is one that can swivel and lock. Locking is important. You don't want your herb garden zooming away. So this one is nice. That's a threaded stem with a brake, and that's what you want. So it has like a brake on it. These are $22 a piece, and then you want to be sure that it can carry the weight. So this is 130-pound capacity. So if you have 4 of these, they should be able to hold about 400 pounds, which is really good. Then you have this one, which is a 350-pound capacity. So if you had a heavier bed, a bigger bed with a taller one, especially like a 2-foot, you'd want to have something like this. But that one doesn't have a brake, so you want to make sure it would be this. Nope, that one doesn't have a brake either. So yeah, I like the gray ones, and I like the ones that have brakes on them. But you just want to double check how much weight they can hold. This one's 225 pounds. This was 125 pounds. The weight is super important, and then you need 4 of them, and you're good to go. All right, we are gonna do a little herb garden together, and this is what we're gonna use. Some stores are gonna have smaller ones. I used to, when I first started Rooted Garden, I sold these to clients as like a starter garden. It's so fun. So they have this one. This is 17 gallons, and it's $25, which is a pretty good price, $25.97. But you can do smaller ones, but I don't see. You don't want it to be that tall. That's a little too tall. And it looks like that's like a trash can. I don't think we need that. So that one's, I think this is probably the best. You know, it'd be so cool if you got this little thing and you like attached it and you can roll it around, because this thing's going to be heavy, I have to say. 17 gallons is kind of a lot. Okay, so I'm going to use my 103 blend that's in my book. I don't think I can get topsoil here, but I can get compost and sand. So I'm going to make my own because I don't like what they have here. So this thing's really heavy, but basically you're going to get a workout, and this is 0.5 cubic feet. So it's it'll help fill up, and it drains really well for herbs. So this is what we got. Patio paver sand. So they have compost and they have topsoil. So you could literally do my 103 right here. So I should have brought the cart. This is compost and manure. It says it's made of composted pine fines, composted hardwood, and composted chicken or cow manure. So it feels pretty grainy, to be honest. But you could get one of these. This is $2.47, and then the topsoil is $3.27. So 3 bags together is going to be about $10, $11, $12. So not too bad. All right, we're all done and all checked out. So we had 2 different checkouts so that you know the totals. So first, let's talk about the raised bed. So because I use pine, it was a lot less than $100 actually. So the total is $59.55. I don't know if you can see that. $59.55. Now I'm gonna have to spend money on a preservative for the wood, so that's gonna bring the price up. But that's pretty good, $60 for all the supplies for a raised bed. And then for my herb garden, the steel garden, this is for the bed plus the 3 bags of soil plus some steel wool. I got steel wool because I'm going to make this look a little bit more patina. So that was $45.51. So almost everything I need minus the herb plants for like $45. So pretty good deal. All right, so this is going to make the project last a little bit longer because I gotta wait to order the wood preservative, but not too long. So we are probably going to focus first on the herb planter, and then as soon as that wood preservative comes in, we'll paint it up, get it nicely sealed, and then put the whole bed together. So stay tuned, lots more raised bed info coming your way. See you soon.